Good afternoon, my friends, and I rarely say that. It's been a couple of weeks since we had an afternoon show. I was in here chatting with you guys. I was almost late. You won't believe what happened to me. OJ and I were going down to Dollar General to get some Cheez-Its. And we saw these two kids in the road. Red hair with bald spots. Well, these two kids threw us in the back of an 18-wheeler. Somehow, OJ and I managed to get away, and we made it in time. I couldn't believe it. OJ's going to have PTSD counseling. He's going to have a robe. OJ, come here. I cannot believe this happened to you. Those red-headed kids from The Shining got a hold of you. You guys wouldn't believe this. It was absolutely horrible. You know, I had a hankering for some Cheez-Its. Now it looks like I'm going to have to do a GoFundMe for OJ. I hear 63,000 is the going number. Woo! Woo! I didn't even have time to steal toilet paper. OJ, come here right now. I cannot believe this happened to you. Come on, OJ. That was terrible. Fun to Ski said, Brooks, are you sure it was not DT Driver? LOL. For real. For real. Chica, did they find the Cheez-Its? I brought the Cheez-Its back home with me, actually. Isn't that funny how when people get kidnapped, they wind up with their Cheez-Its? First off, I want to know something. Enough of my kidnapping. That was horrible that happened to me and OJ. I will never go out for Cheez-Its again. I'm going to Instacart all the shit because you never know when this is going to happen to you. Don't ever go out, especially to a Target, a Dollar General, a Walgreens. No, I came back. You guys know I don't wear socks, but I came back with one flip-flop and polished nails. Crazy story. Slim, when is your birthday? Slim gifted 50 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Let's hear it for our friend Slim Shady. You guys are the best on YouTube.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you want the Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand?
Slim, when is your birthday? Chloe said, did they brush your hair? Yes, but they got it all tangled up. They did not use the right shampoo and conditioner. I have a very tough scalp, Chloe. It just didn't go very well. Didn't go well. D said, Carlee is like another Jussie Smollett. We're going to get into that. It is the truth. The truth. I don't know where to begin with this. Besides OJ and I getting kidnapped by that 18-wheeler, there's a lot of goofy people on the internet. Okay? Slim, hang on. Slim said, this is the day I turn 50, finally. Woo! Send me your address. I'm going to send you a present. And no, it's not going to be a picture of me and OJ or anything like that. Let's please take a minute to tell our friend Slim happy 50th. Slim, you don't look an age, you don't look a day over 32. Wow, this is a big day. I got kidnapped, and Slim turn 50. Slim also has her own channel where she reads books to her grandchildren. I did see in chat where she got a GoPro. I'm kind of scared of what she's going to do with the GoPro. I got a video camera for Christmas. I have this thing about I don't like to spend too much for electronics. So what I buy is made in garage sales in China shit. I'm telling you right now. You can't use it. It doesn't function. It's horrible. My husband's like, I told you not to get that. I told you not to get it. So we had to send it back to Amazon. So now I'm looking to get a GoPro. And then, hell, I'll probably have it on all the time. You guys are going to be like, yeah, that's enough of you. All right. So how are we doing on the poll? Do we think Carlee Russell should be charged or not? You tell me. You tell me. While you're answering, let's tell everyone hello. Welcome. And I agree, she should be charged. Now, what they're probably going to say is that, well, it's not a crime to go missing, but it is a crime in Alabama to waste resources, just like every state. Problem is, we have some really, really stupid people out there. Really stupid. Okay, this guy, Jason, he says, we exist within a system built around anti-blackness. Seeing y'all go for praying for Carlee to conspiracy and dehumanization did not surprise me. On brand for how KKK Christians and religious people operate. If my black ass ever goes missing because of being kidnapped or a mental health crisis, do not pray for me. I don't want your prayers. Y'all's religions ain't done shit but uphold anti-blackness, and it goes on and on. So there's a lot of this coming down the pike. Over the weekend, several people reached out to me. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And I was neck deep in the Long Island serial killer. We were having my husband's birthday. But of course, I got into it. And I started seeing all these comments. And if anybody said, this doesn't make sense, or where's the toddler, they would get dogpiled and called racist. Racist. Now, because someone says this doesn't make sense, does it make them a racist? How ridiculous is this world? See what she has stirred up? I'm wondering if there's not something else behind this. You know how I am. I just cannot believe this. She clearly lied. She clearly lied. She is a Sherry Papini. She is a Jussie Smollett. See, I got my ass handed to me about Jussie Smollett years ago. My next door neighbor, who is so white, he's ethnic. I said, this makes no sense. Who the hell goes out for Subway that's closed during an Arctic storm in Chicago? And you come across a couple of dudes that are Nigerian with MAGA hats on, yelling, this is MAGA country? Chicago's not MAGA country. And he was like, he's like, I think that's really racist of you. And I'm like, calling someone a liar is not racist. Calling someone a liar and putting together what they have done is not racist. Dynamite said, well, I'm going to say if it was a white person that did it, they would make an example out of them. They're going to have to make an example out of her and anyone that does it. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care what you are. Jenny said she's worse than Jussie and Sherry because she threw a toddler into the mix. So they're looking for a toddler. You're looking for her, but guess what she was doing? Well, she had her Cheez-Its. She was at the Red Roof Inn. And NBC said, as she was laying around watching YouTube and playing on her phone about what people are saying about her, she was sending certain type of pictures. This is going to be our word of the day, everyone. Get ready. Figure out how to use it in a sentence.
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Today's secret word is nudes. While she was at the Red Roof Inn, she was sending out nudie pictures with one sock and a stolen bathrobe and some stolen toilet paper. So yesterday when the authorities were given the press conference and they said, and there's other things that were going on, they said, they're not going to violate her privacy. Well, NBC broke it. Thank you so much, Kat. Missed you tons too. Kat and I actually have a show coming up on Saturday morning about Madalena Kojakari. It's going to be awesome to have Kat back. Yeah. So between the 18-wheeler, the toddler, the Cheez-Its, you name it, stealing the bathrobe, stealing the TP, because, let's face it, nobody wants to use that JCPenney's catalog at the Red Roof Inn. We need some cushion on our buns. Nudes and Cheez-Its. Yep, she was laying around with nudes. Now, a lot of people are saying, of course, they're screaming racism. Well, I didn't pick this story. I'm not picking on the woman. I can just tell that something is made up. I'm telling you. But one of her friends on Twitter has called her out. She said, I'm going to say this. I had a long conversation with one of the people who were part of Carlee's search party. The entire town is pissed because they weren't given any updates after she showed up to her doorstep. It's alleged that she went through a breakup with her boyfriend and planned her own kidnapping to get his attention. She was at the Red Roof Inn for 2 days. She called her cousin, saying that this plan escalated too quickly and she didn't know what to do. This is the discussion happening in that small town. It's alleged. They're saying if anybody is owed an explanation, it's them. I can understand their perspective. Now, also during the weekend, she made another profile, I'm understanding, his name, and speaking exactly the way she speaks, she was arguing with people saying that they didn't break up. Make it make sense. In 7th grade, I had a boy that I liked. I liked him a lot. I chased him all over the playground. I think he threw a water balloon at my face one day, and I kept chasing him. But I didn't plan my kidnapping. No. Mm-mm. No. No. Tiffany said Mr. Boyfriend was through with her ass. She couldn't handle it. Once again, like I said every day, I hate dumb hoes. Woo! And there was other things going on around the Birmingham area while she pulled this stunt. Hoover, Alabama Police Department says our hearts are heavy today. Sadly, Birmingham firefighter Jordan Melton passed away yesterday as a result of his injuries after being shot last week. Please join us as we offer our thoughts and prayers for the family of our fellow first responder. That's who should have been getting the attention. That's who should have been getting the attention. Did she really think that she could call 911 and say there was a toddler unattended on the interstate and that nobody would check it out? She was looking for bus tickets to go to Nashville because she wanted to see Beyonce. This is all while people were looking for her. So we have Cheez-Its, Nudes, bus ticket, Beyonce. I think when she found out she couldn't get tickets and it was sold out, she had a miraculous reappearance. That's all it looks like to me. Let's get to the comments and then we're going to get to the show. Gianna said, did the kidnappers yell, "This is MAGA country"? I'm guessing this is not mentally health related. She's not oppressed. She drives a Mercedes, but is still oppressed, just like Jussie Smollett. That's what I'm seeing on Twitter. She's oppressed. How? Because you went to the Red Roof? T-Walk said she needs to pay back every cent to police and county that was used and wasted looking for her when she was not missing. Let the psychiatrist and the DA handle it from here. Debbie said, exactly all those man hours wasted. What if there had been another young lady out there in trouble for real? Resources would have been limited. Way to go, Carlee. Mama Mia said, I have so many questions. Did the abductor, in quotes, just drive around in circles with her and the Cheez-Its, toilet paper, and robe for 49 hours? Why did they ever leave the area? Why is her mom more upset about social media chatter than her daughter's abduction? Why does dad look like he is present against his will? Why is a 25-year-old still living with their parents? Why does Carlee look completely different in every single photo? That's another problem. That is another problem. The photos that were put out are not the Carlee that we have seen. Tracy Smith said, Brooks, in my opinion, her family, I don't think dad will, but I see what she's saying, will try to sue the police department for not finding the perpetrator. Snazzy Trinket said, a new Carlee law needs to be implemented for false reporting. Automatic refunding of all resources used. No eligibility for state, federal grants or benefits until money is paid back in full. Required 1,000 hours of public service, soup kitchen, homeless shelter work, for example. I agree. You can't do that. Our first responders are already underpaid, overworked, and understaffed. This is not a game. This is not anything that you do. Obviously, we know this around here. To get the boyfriend back. Okay? And we know that she wasn't in distress when the kidnappers were playing with her hair, painting her nails. Nobody SA'd her, but she said that they took nude pictures of her. She said that to cover her ass because she knew that she had been taking nude pictures of herself. She's not a child. She's closer to 30 than 15. She's going to have to pay for this. And I really hope that the people in Birmingham make her do it. I really do. I'm not saying life in prison. I'm not saying 10 years behind bars. But she has to pay for this. The story was never even believable. Never. Never. I'm going to go back to her parents because I believe that they really believed she had been abducted. Now, I want you to look at her dad. He's in the purple shirt. Her mom's in the pink Nike cap. Look at her dad. Obviously, you know who mom and dad is. At this point, he is concerned. But on the Today Show, he looked like he could bite through nails.
Bubbly personality, loving heart, giving, just joyful in nature.
She's a fighter too. She's joyful and she's laid back, but if it's a chance for her to put up a fight to try to save her life, she's going to do everything she can to put up a fight. And
you can tell days ago they were truly upset. Let me tell you how sick this is. Carlee was watching this. She knew while she was eating Cheez-Its at the Red Roof Inn and taking nudes that her parents, who you can tell are great people, were upset. Why didn't she just call it off then?
my husband and I were talking today, she was just so happy, or yesterday, she was just so happy all the way up until I talked to her at 9:19. She was just so happy. And anybody that knows our daughter knows she loves food. And the fact that she was willing to give me her meal because they left her meal off meant a lot to me. And when she got home, I was gonna give her a big hug and tell her thank you, because I know you love your food.
That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
Because she loves her food. She's worried. She's worried that she's not getting anything to eat. Now, you see somebody in certain areas, and I'm not too sure about the area, in a brand new Mercedes on the side of the road, somebody might steal your stuff. Who could watch their parents like that? I haven't read anything anywhere that the parents were in any kind of financial strain. She loves her Cheez-Its. I imagine their jaws were on the floor when they found out what was really going on. This is what I believe made law enforcement in Hoover, Alabama pissed. Okay? Because they had already talked to the parents and said, look, we've put this together. But the father didn't, but the mother doubled down that there's an abductor.
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours. What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who...
Now, real quick, that GoFundMe was at $63,000. Someone in here just said they saw it was $80,000. GoFundMe said yesterday There has not been any requests for refunds. So if they spin this around and say, no, we need that money for her mental health, I'm going to lose my lunch, okay? This is not a mental health situation. This is a 25-year-old that was trying to get the attention of her boyfriend. That's it.
Who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing.
Now, I'm not here to argue with Mom. She's like, I didn't know people could be so evil. Look, I'm not here to argue with Mom. I'm here to tell Mom that when something doesn't pass the smell test, they call it out. When people say this doesn't make any sense, this is a hoax, this was for money, she probably ran off with a guy, what's going on? See, that is not evil. Because if she was truly abducted off that highway, I mean, hell, they have the Secret Service involved. They have the Secret Service involved.
Or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely.
Okay. This on the Today Show after the investigators already told the parents, look, we've gone through all this. She was never abducted. For them to go on Today's Show and say, absolutely, there's an abductor out there. In my opinion, that was the reason for the press conference yesterday. They had to do it so that way there's no public pandemonium. They had to spill her shit. They had to say, look, she was at the Red Roof. She was eating Cheez-Its. This is what she told us. She said she was abducted by an orange-haired man in an 18-wheeler with a bald spot. That she escaped and they kidnapped her again. They played with her hair and did her nails. Now, I'm telling you something right now. I played around when my kids, were growing up with what they said. If they would say, there's a dinosaur in the backyard, I'd be like, oh, let's go see the dinosaur, But no, at 25, if the police told me that, I'd say, whoa, you're going to wish you'd been abducted now.
Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when...
Okay, look at Dad. He shook his head no. Okay, please look at Dad.
is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her
Oh,
life?
she definitely fought for her life.
He said, no. 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 Dad needs to be a gift. Look at him. No. Do you believe she fought for her life? He shook his head. No.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her
Oh,
life?
she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically.
Now, hang on. Mom was shaking her head, yes. Dad's shaking his head, no. He's not believing it.
Do you believe she was fighting for her
Oh,
life?
she definitely fought for her life.
No. He's shrugging his shoulders and shaking his head. He's not going to cross his wife. No all around. No all around.
There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right.
Mentally fight for her life. She was at the Red Roof Inn, trying to get the attention of a boyfriend. She told her cousin that she planned it, and it got out of hand. Well, that's what happens when people think you've been kidnapped.
Priscilla, so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah, Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda?
Well, we know now. We know that she was searching Amber Alerts, taking nudes, the movie Taken. Yes, she was. Look at this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
In 2009 or 2010, I don't know, I can't see on here. It says 2009. This is her Twitter. It says, Taken 2 is my movie. This is Carlee's Twitter. Hang on, where's my glasses? Here they are. This lady said, the people found it. This other person said, this did not age well. Gotta be kidding me. Now, we knew something was weird when on Tuesday, her company put out a letter in response to the many inquiries Woodhouse Spa Birmingham has received over the past several days regarding the Carlee Russell case. We offer the following. Our greatest concern has always been the well-being of Carlee and her safe return. Woodhouse Spa employees have been deeply impacted by the events that transpired, but are now ecstatic with the news that Carlee's return home. Our employees worked extremely hard through very tough times, keeping guests happy while dealing with the fact that their coworker was missing. We've been working with the Hoover Police Department since Friday morning, the morning following Carlee's disappearance, in order to come up with any information that would help the investigation. Everything we uncovered is in the possession of the Hoover Police Department. We understand the investigation is a very sensitive state, and we do not want to release any details that could jeopardize the investigation. Leaks, both true and untrue, can have a devastating impact on the investigation. We understand there are many posts on social media claiming certain information to be true. Some items are factual while others are not. Please rest assured that the Hoover Police Department is working around the clock to bring this case to conclusion. All right. Now, I'm not in anyone's head, but this is what I'm going to say. When they said, we understand there are many posts on social media claiming certain information to be true, some items are factual while others are not. Paragraph 4, leaks, both true and untrue, can have devastating impact on any investigation. I think it's a little weird that they would put out a release like this instead of just something, praying for Carlee or whatever, because they didn't do anything until Tuesday. Nothing over the weekend. They went back to business as usual. There was no Woodhouse Spa vigil. Well, I think this is why. This is inside of the Woodhouse. And Carlee stole one of their robes and their toilet paper. She was also searching on how to rob him. I'm wondering if she actually did. What do you think? You never know. When she was at Target, besides buying the Cheez-Its, she could have gotten a card and put some money on it to go to the Red Roof Inn. Makes sense to me. She would have needed money to go see Beyonce. There's scalpers all over Nashville. She had plans, my friends. She had plans. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I just cannot believe the stupidity. All right, this woman right here is one of the many people that was looking for her. There were people advocating for her that have missing children of their own. Think about that. Think about that. They're out looking for her, who's sending nudes from the Red Roof Inn. They could have been working on their own child's case. This is heartbreaking.
So thankful that Carlee is home safe. So thankful.
This morning, the search for Carlee Russell is over. The missing 25-year-old nursing student returned to her family home Saturday night. Police say she arrived alone and on foot. Angela Harris helped lead the community search for her.
You spoke to this family moments after Carlee came home.
Right.
What did they say?
It was just kind of like a very emotional phone call. I just broke down and I said, is she okay? And she said, I don't know. She seems to be okay. She just seems to be in shock.
Officials say Russell was taken to the hospital for evaluation and has since been released. Her safe return putting an end to a days-long search that began Thursday night with a puzzling 911 call. Police say Russell told an emergency operator she saw a toddler walking alone on an interstate.
459 South, mile marker 10, going to be a child walking on the 3-4-year-old child walking on the side of the interstate.
It's believed she then stopped to check on the child and was on the phone with a family member when she disappeared.
She heard a scream and then it was some type of running type shuffle.
Russell's parents horrified.
I just felt immediately that she was in danger.
Video from the interstate where Russell...
A running type shuffle. You know, her mom is really going to have to teach her some accountability. I'm really not trying to pick on the mom. I'm really not. But this is not, No. This was planned. She was trying to get the attention of the boyfriend. That's it.
Vanish shows a car driving slowly with its flashers on.
Right, so just be advised, her vehicle is unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
Police say when they arrived, they found Russell's car, her cell phone and purse on the road nearby. But there were no signs of Russell or a child. An urgent search ensued, both on the ground and on social media.
I need everyone to stop and pay attention.
Where her disappearance quickly went viral. Celebrities including Wanda Sykes, Viola Davis, and Octavia Spencer spreading the word. Still, questions remain about where Russell was for those 48 hours and who she was with.
Octavia Spencer is one of the people that said if you doubt the story, you're racist. What is she talking about? Because someone smells bullshit doesn't make them a racist. There would be something wrong if we were all out right now combing each other's hair and doing each other's nails in the name of Carlee. This is ridiculous.
A man identifying himself as Russell's boyfriend, writing on social media, she was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours and that she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper. The police chief telling NBC News in a phone call they've spoken to Russell and are following up on the information she provided.
Priscilla, I mean, this is also perplexing. Do you know anything about this missing child that Russell reported seeing?
Well, Savannah, police say that Russell's call was the only one they received about a child on the interstate and that they didn't receive any reports of a missing child during that time period. And, you know, when I spoke to her parents, they told me that they had warned their daughter about a situation like this and that even if there was a young person, not to stop because it could be a tactic for something nefarious. But again, police saying that no one else reported seeing a child on the interstate. The police chief tells me they are still investigating and are hoping to speak with Russell again in the coming days. Savannah?
Well, hopefully we'll get some updates there. Priscilla, thank you. Glad she's home.
She's home, and that is good news because we don't want anyone kidnapped. We don't want anyone found in a lake, a ditch, an 18-wheeler with a orange-haired person. So yes, that is good news. But what's bad news is you're wasting resources on someone who was just being a spoiled brat. I do not believe this is mental illness. Nope, I'm not a doctor. Oh my goodness, Angel P, it is raining in here. Angel P is gifting memberships. Thank you. She's a liar. Now, I'm telling you something right now. Anna said this is not about race, it's about behavior. Yes, we can separate that, can we not? I deal with people, not color, just like I hope people do with me. It's ridiculous. All right, look at some of these memes that are going around. Let's rate them. Which one you think is the best? All right, there's meme number 1. There's a baby on 459. We're going to do a vote here. Which one is the best? We have Liam Neeson with some Cheez-Its. That one's pretty good, not going to lie. I'm liking that one. This is something else. We have Little Man on I-459. Starring Carlee, Marlon Wayans, and Shawn Wayans. We have Beware, South 459. Orange hair, balding on top. Okay. True story, I heard that she actually is scared of clowns. We have a personal injury attorney, abducted by an invisible toddler on 459. Call me, Alabama. It's a way to get business. Check that out. And finally, public safety announcement. Be on the lookout for these suspects. May be traveling by 18-wheeler with a 3 or 4-year-old wearing a diaper. You never know what's going to happen on the 459. You never know. You never know. Not to make light of their plight, but I'm telling you something right now. I was pissing myself with the memes you guys were sending me. Let's get to the 911 call. I've got a better version than we heard yesterday.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there's just a kid just walking by themselves. Oh, hold on. Where am I? How are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Comfort Bed, like to get off by the net. Okay, so you're before that exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay, and was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound, or how old do they look? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Comfort Bed, like to get off by the net. Okay, so you're before that exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay, and was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound, or how old do they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay,
I think this was my first conversation that I had, and I think it was with Jinbug. I said, it's so dark. How would she see a toddler? And I assumed, because I wasn't into it yet, I said, how do we not know it's not her child she was using for something else? Well, now we find out that the child never existed. 3 or 4, I think. And supposedly this child ran 6 football fields.
Are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and do they have shoes on? No. No shoes? Not that I can see. I can't really see that. Look. Okay. All right, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
I'm so
Now imagine being that dispatcher getting that call. Please, just imagine. We're going to go through the voting again because I really want to know what you guys think is the best one. Number 1, the baby on 459. Carlee with Little Man. Liam Neeson. Okay, Bryce said Cheez-Its. Orange hair balding on top, South 459. The personal injury attorney saying, call me Alabama if you've been abducted by an invisible toddler on 459. Or number 6, public safety announcement, be on the lookout for these suspects, may be traveling by 18-wheeler with a 3 or 4-year-old wearing a diaper. What to do? What to do? My God. I think number 3 is my favorite too. All right, we're going to break this down. Bear with me. We're going to break this down. Because how this gentleman kept a straight face giving this information to a national audience, I will never know. I'd have had my own damn diaper on because I'd be afraid I'm going to shit myself. If it wasn't for her parents going on the Today Show, I don't think this would have happened. We're going to go through this again.
Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing.
Okay. He's saying that this investigation is still ongoing, even though they already know it's a hoax. I think the investigation is still ongoing because they're going to press charges on here. They are going to prosecute her for something. Don't think her mama and daddy, after this press conference yesterday, aren't getting a hold of an attorney today.
However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th.
See, right there, because of public safety. Her mother was on the Today Show saying the abductor is still out there. And yep, the details were leaked on Facebook and everything. But when the supposed victim's mother is on the Today Show saying the abductor's still out there, they have to address it.
13th at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on
granola bars and Cheez-Its. She also picked up some Tzatziki's. I want to know how many times DoorDash came to that motel. I can't call the Red Roof Inn a hotel.
on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
am on Interstate 459, and there's just a kid just walking by themselves. Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover egg, like you get off by the Hoover egg. Okay, so you're before that exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Okay, towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay, and was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound, or how old they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white Pakistani or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and do they have shoes on? No. My shoes? Not that I can see. I can't really see that one. Okay. All right, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but the officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight, 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by our family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. Detectives, the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists.
Do kidnappers talk like that? Do they say, hey, I don't want to tie you up. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance of you getting away. I mean, I've already gone through the trouble of kidnapping you and your Cheez-Its, but I don't want any impressions on your wrist. I mean, I'm a kidnapper, but I'm not about to hurt people. How is he keeping a straight face? Are you kidding me? I think she ran out of snacks and went home. Listen to this again.
Members is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying.
I don't think Carlee understands the setup in an 18-wheeler. You see, if she's in the trailer of the 18-wheeler, it's got freight in it, unless they're heading somewhere to get freight. So you're not going to see anyone, and you're also going to suffocate. I mean, she makes it sound like there was a dining room table set up in the trailer. I don't think she understands that the trailer disconnects from the truck.
The male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female.
She was fed cheese crackers by the female. These are the nicest kidnappers in the world. Hair, nails, no essay, just a couple of nudes, and that's it.
She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock.
Well, I hope they have all those serial numbers and they can check it with what they had at the store if they do that thing there, because she was wondering how to steal out of the till. He looks like he's about to jump through the camera. He's pissed. This has wasted his time.
Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th.
Do kidnappers let you keep your phone? I've never been kidnapped except for before the show. You know, those crazy twins got me and OJ as we were going to get Cheez-Its and granola bars. Just like the other kidnappers, they let us go right away. So she had her phone the whole time.
On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were two searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
I'm not law enforcement, but I'm going to go with old boy here, and I'm going to say this didn't happen. There's no public safety concern. None. None. All right, look at this. They're saying today that the investigation is moving forward. And that's not good news for Carlee, okay? It's not.
Lauren, of course, you're talking to a former U.S. attorney tonight about what could happen next in this case.
That's right. Jonathan, Catherine, the Hoover police chief, says while Carlee was at UAB, detectives spoke with her briefly to get a statement before she was treated and released. Well, of course, we talked a little bit about that statement earlier in the show, but of course, many questions remain. And the chief says Carlee is the only one with the answers. Now, Chief Nick Durza said they've asked to interview Carlee a second time to get some of those questions answered, but that request has yet to be granted. He mentioned that the family said she was dealing with trauma from the incident, so she's not ready to talk again. Still, many are asking law enforcement and even us about why she isn't speaking up now that police have revealed they can't verify her story at this point. Former U.S. Attorney Jay Town says if Carlee Russell's statement about being abducted is in fact true, she should be sharing as much as she can about the alleged kidnappers.
And so she's sitting at home being silent, remaining silent. If her story is true, she needs to tell it so the good guys can go get the bad guys. And if her story is not true, then I can understand why she's not talking to law enforcement. She probably.
This guy better watch it or he's going to be called a racist, because a lot of people are screaming she won't talk to the police anymore. She told them about the orange hair man with the bald spot, the cheese crackers, playing with her hair. He's saying she needs to talk to them if she wants this solved.
As much as she can about the alleged kidnappers.
And so she's sitting at home being silent, remaining silent. If her story's true, she needs to tell it so the good guys can go get the bad guys. And if her story's not true, then I can understand why she's not talking to law enforcement. She probably needs to talk to a lawyer.
Now, to be clear, no charges have been filed in connection with Carlee Russell's disappearance. Chief Durzis said they haven't even discussed that yet, but he says they will get to the bottom of every detail in this case. Live in Birmingham, Lauren Harkson, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
So much going on. This was sent to me a few hours ago. She has lawyered up. This woman's name is Jamie Elizabeth Hunter. You can get a free consultation. The phone number is out. She's a Birmingham, Alabama civil rights lawyer. Well, I would want a criminal lawyer, not a civil rights lawyer. Why are they using a civil rights lawyer? They need a criminal lawyer. I mean, that could just be her main part of practice, you know. But what about criminal law? You know, sometimes they're like a jack of all trades. They got a lot in the toolbox, but like that's their favorite thing to do. This is ridiculous. Thank you, Dolores. I thought the same thing. Do the kidnappers do deep tissue massage? If so, I need to be kidnapped for at least 48 hours as well, but I need Hendrix edibles and lots of Mexican food. Me too. Yes. Yes. So that makes zero sense. I mean, zero. But when people develop a hoax like this, it never goes their way. Let's go back and visit our girl, Sherry Papini, who just got out of jail for a hoax. Well, I say just, but you know what I mean.
Sherry Papini from jail this afternoon.
There you see CBS 13 Steve Largey is right there. And Steve, you're on. What do we know?
Well, first off, this was a wild scene. It just played out here in the last couple of minutes. Sherry Papini being released from jail. She walked out the door and she was immediately covered by a couple of family members with a blanket and it looked like a pillow, a mask. And so what you're going to see here is this wild scene that just unfolded with, there were a number of reporters surrounding her, asking her questions. And this is the video showing her being basically taken down the streets by her family members, huddled around her as reporters try to get a question in. No answer from Sherry Papini. We actually end up crossing the street. We're going down I Street. We're going east. We cross 7th Street. A vehicle waiting for her parked on I between 7th and 8th. So a block away from the jail, as you can see this happening. She's finally ushered into this vehicle. And then she's driven away. But just, you know, I have been to some of these jail releases before, nothing like this. And this is obviously a very high profile case. We're talking about a woman, a very high profile search. And now here we are years later after she was found on the side of a highway reporting that she had been kidnapped by 2 Hispanic people, that the federal government says that she had been lying to investigators the whole time. The story making national news, the cover of People magazine. Here she is being released right here. Hopefully you're seeing this video and you've seen it already as I've been talking about it. But again, I just want to emphasize the video shows you what has been the craziest release from jail at Sacramento County that I've ever seen. A federal judge allowing her to be released after she was detained on Friday, concerned that she might be a flight risk. This was the detention hearing, and the judge said that she can be released. In fact, her family putting up a 6-figure sum of money to get her out. And she was just released here at the 5 o'clock hour. But I think the big story at this hour is the manner in which she was released. Just an absolutely wild scene. Her family trying to basically protect her from reporters' questions. At one point, in fact, it did get physical with a man who looked like possibly her father, an older gentleman who was trying to maybe push some of the cameras away. So you're seeing that play out right here, guys.
Wow, Steve, you know, typically when they're going to release a high-profile suspect, they do it when we're not looking, middle of the night maybe, or through a side door or entrance. You know that. This was pretty unbelievable.
It really was, and there was that chance that we didn't know how this defendant, Sherry Papini, would be released. Typically, it's through the main jail doors, but there are always there's always the possibility that there's a deal that's reached between prosecutors and a judge or the jail saying, let's have a marshal send them out of the federal court where this hearing, of course, it was a Zoom hearing, but that could have been a possibility, a side door somewhere. But here we are, just a couple of hours after the judge makes the decision. She is released at 5 o'clock right on to the downtown streets of Sacramento. And that's how it all played out right there. We had not only local reporters, but also national reporters and cameras waiting for that moment.
And that was a crazy day. Crazy. Dolores said she better pray she never needs 911 or law enforcement assistance in the future. Not a soul is going to believe her. True. RJ said, Alabama is not going to play this kind of game with Carlee. Nope. They spent too much money, and she collected money in the meantime. She's a spoiled brat. She was mad about the boyfriend. Papini did go to jail for this. Jussie Smollett went to jail for this. And he did it so he could get more money on his contract when he worked on Empire. Remember the whole story during the Arctic blast in Chicago that went across the country? It was like negative degrees. But he went out to get a Subway sandwich and he had a noose around his neck. Joey Budden, Dave Chappelle, everybody called him out and said, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And they investigated and found out it didn't happen.
January 9th by two, quote, white supremacists wearing MAGA hats that shouted, "This is Trump country," and specifically targeted him because of his race and his sexual orientation. Of course, we now know that all of that was false. Smollett actually hired two of his associates to stage the attack, and they are now telling their story, or their side of the story, for the first time. In the new Fox Nation special, Anatomy of a Hoax, take a look at this.
So we got here with 10 minutes to spare, and we had to plan our escape route to survey the land. His building is actually right here, right above the stairs that we're going to attack him at. We made sure we got there at 2 a.m. sharp. On the dot. On the dot. We had no phones because he did not want us to bring any phones.
Don't bring any phones, but he paid them by check. He paid them by check. They had their receipts for buying the supplies to assault him, which never happened.
He said, so we don't lose them. I don't know if that's really the reason. That's him. Is that him? That's that nigga. That's that nigga. Get that nigga. Oh, he's moving fast. Come on, let's get him. Get that nigga. Let's get him. As we crossed the street, we said, hey, to get his attention. Hey, Nick. Hey. He turned around, looked at us, and that's when we started yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey, aren't you that Empire? Hey, Empire fat Nick. It's MAGA country. Yeah. And then he said, what did you say to me? And then that's when I threw the first punch at him. And then I threw him to the ground. And after I threw him to the ground, he had no bruise. I wanted it to look more real. So then I threw him to the ground. After I threw him to the ground, I used my knuckle and gave him a noogie. So I went like this. Why did I do that? To give him a scar, to give him a mark, to make it look real, like he really did get his ass beat.
All right, joining us now for their first live TV interview are those two brothers, Ola and Bola Osundairo, and their attorney, Gloria Rodriguez. Great to see you. Wow. You ever think it would become this big?
No, we did not. Not in a million years, no, sir.
Okay, so this thing begins to get into the public consciousness, and people are rightly, I mean, if that had really happened, I'd be angry. I think most people deplore racism. Most people deplore people that are anti-gay. They should mind their own damn business, in my view. And so all of a sudden this is viral and believed. What are you guys thinking?
Before I allow my brother to answer that question, I just first want to apologize to everyone in the audience, the country, and anyone who might have been affected by this directly. When we were asked to partake in this, we really didn't foresee the ramifications of what something like this could do to the country.
You're sorry you participated in it.
Yeah, we allowed our ambition to cloud our judgments.
Were you getting paid?
It wasn't about the money.
Yeah, it was. What was it about for you then?
The opportunity.
Opportunity.
Well, they wanted to be his trainer, and so he paid him. He paid him for that, but they were also told that they were going to be on Empire. You got to be kidding me! And this dude right here on the left in the gray sweater, you wouldn't pay him to beat you up. Either one of them.
Dave, too.
We were actors. So
we are actors.
We are actors. And Jussie, right.
I'm acting as a talk show host.
You want to do a hoax together?
I'm hoping one day. Maybe I'll get there.
So Jussie was in a position where he could help us, because in the acting world is who you know, not what you know. So us helping him out would have helped us out.
Yeah. Well, you're the attorney. You take on this case and it explodes. And you did a great job. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right? What was your initial instinct? Because you have clients that might be legal jeopardy here. The whole world is watching. It gets tough in those moments.
You know what? I had been doing these kinds of crisis situations for 10 years by the time I had met the brothers. So my immediate thought wasn't, oh my God, this is a national spotlight case. My immediate thought was, oh my God, I have two innocent guys here that are being accused of doing this horrific hate crime.
Yeah.
And so my natural instinct really was to first, unlike a lot of the journalists that were out there reporting this, my instinct was to first get a handle on the facts. And that same night that I met them, I went by myself, had to cancel my plans with my wife and say, I got to go down to the scene of the crime.
Right.
And I looked around and I just remember thinking, it is dark, it is laid out, and there's nobody out here. It's super safe. This is ridiculous how this would happen.
And this particular night, it was freezing. No criminal would even want to work that night, right?
Night, yeah, exactly.
On a cold night, they'll take the night off. I'll get back to work tomorrow night, stealing and robbing and killing, especially in Chicago. All right, so you go through this, and our audience was laughing because some of it's really funny. Maybe you're really good actors. That's part of it. But there is a sad part of it here, because there is this impulse among people that they want to believe the worst in human beings, that people are racist, and that Trump supporters are sexist and racist and homophobic and xenophobic, Islamophobic, transphobic. I mean, as a conservative,
Well, the whole thing is, I don't care about who is the person who's the host of the show. The guys that were lured in one way or another to perpetuate this hoax and suck up resources from Chicago, which, by the way, that's a very, very busy police department, is just ridiculous. So I'm glad he went to jail. Let him sit there and think about it. Let him think about it. I mean, what about real crimes that it takes away from when someone wants some attention? I had a Facebook group a few years ago, and I cannot remember her name, but she was outside of Mobile, and people were saying she was missing. Well, she just went to New Orleans. She went straight down I-10. And she was over there partying for the weekend. She met up with the dude. She wouldn't talk to anybody. Nothing. and people were putting up flyers and stuff like that. The police were like, no, I don't think there's anything wrong. And she just showed back up. Then you have the Rudy hoax. That was insane. And I believe he was in on it. I stopped covering it. I was just like, I'm not wasting my time on that. No way. You can't tell me that he wasn't in on it. Crazy. And this case is crazy too. And we're going to continue following it. It's not going to be an every day. It's not going to be a once a week. It might be a video or something. Because I do think she's going to wind up getting charged. I really do. Because you just can't do that. You just cannot take up all of that time and resources when law enforcement has other stuff going on. Not that anybody here would, but you know what I mean. Whew. Britt said she better. She better. I can't see the poll. How are we doing on the poll? Where are we at right now with people thinking she should get charged and people that think she shouldn't? Can anyone see it? All right, don't forget our word of the day, because this went on as well.
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
She was sending nudes from the Red Roof Inn. Absolutely crazy. Christina said 538 votes. Woo! Jamie Lunas, where have you been? We have missed you. Jamie wants to know what her motive was. Well, according to someone that knows someone, said that she was at the Red Roof Inn for 2 days. She called her cousin saying that her plan escalated too quickly. She had recently had a breakup with her boyfriend and she was trying to get his attention. Well, that's really not the way you get boyfriend's attention. That's the way to take attention away from people that really need it. As we know, our law enforcement is already overworked and underpaid. Absolutely nuts. Britt said they need more respect. Damn right they do. Damn right they do. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Seeing some of these comments make me lose my mind. I cannot believe this. Like this guy right here. We exist within a system built around anti-blackness. Seeing you all go from praying for Carlee to conspiracy dehumanization. Look, people were praying for Carlee, but they were putting the puzzle pieces together, Jason, and realized that something wasn't adding up. When there's no Amber Alert for the toddler, and they didn't really seem to be looking for a lost child, the minute you called her out, somebody was jumping down your throat. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane. No, you can call someone out without being harassed. The one that should be harassed is Carlee, and I don't mean on social media. I mean by the police. They can harass her attorney and say, we need her to talk now, because if not, these charges are coming down the pike. All right, guys, we have a big show tomorrow. We are going to be discussing Summer Wells. I understand it is a hot topic, and some people, you know who they are, don't want me talking about it. But nobody is going to bully me into not talking about Summer Wells. I understand that there is nothing recent. The police have not given any updates, but I'm going to continue to keep Summer's name out there. Same with Michael Vaughn and any other case that I talk about. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. and I'm going to need all of your help. I'm going to need all of you to come in and help me out. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups. Thank you for being here and having a chuckle with me because this is redonkulous. Absolutely. Thank you, Mod Squad. And again, thank you for being my friends. Thank you for being the best chat and best community on YouTube.